Hey everyone, what's up? This is Darth Rivera here, making a follow-up video from, I don't know, 2 years ago when I said wake the F up. Uh, Major complaints about that video was that I swore too much, so I want to try and cut that out this time. But today is the Monday after the inauguration, and there's a lot of BS going on everywhere. And Facebook has become a barren wasteland of people's entitled opinions that they think are better than everyone else's. And it's just getting out of hand. So I decided to make a video. And I wanted to shed some light on some things, try to be unbiased, even though I am an independent conservative. I lean towards the right. That's not a big secret to anybody that knows me. However, I just want to put out the facts, and I want to have you guys listen to what was said at the inauguration and shed some light on what this quote-unquote scary inauguration speech was all about. I'm only, of course, going to paraphrase things, not to set my own narrative, but to just kind of prove my point that it was, in the best interest of the United States. If you call yourself a citizen and you are saying that it's dangerous to put America first, I don't quite understand that logic, because you live here and we have our own homeless veterans and children and you name it, we have it. What do you mean by that's dangerous, and who should we put first if not ourselves? And before you start labeling me a racist and saying I'm a bigot and that this and that and the other thing, I am Puerto Rican, as a matter of fact. I'm not 100% white. I'm 50% Puerto Rican and 50% Italian. So get that race card right out of your head and put that right to bed, because I'm sorry, it doesn't work on me. I'm immune. Thank you very much. I want you to take a listen to this excerpt of Trump's speech, and you tell me where it's dangerous, and you tell me where it sounds like Hitler. I saw a lot of people saying, I heard this speech before in another language. People were saying he used code words. What kind of code words? Like progressive? Like tolerance? Those kind of code words? Because they're obviously code words if you have no tolerance for anybody's beliefs but your own. And what are you trying to progress past if you're using the same old antiquated methods? You're not trying to progress past anything using those same code words that you said President Trump was using. And I'm not just out here to bash anybody or put down people's beliefs or put down liberals as a whole, but I am trying to say that if you can't practice what you preach, then you shouldn't be preaching it. And that's all I'm going to say. Yes, I'm Christian. Yes, I'm a right-winger. I have the courage of my convictions. I don't lack it. I got out and I spoke about how I didn't like President Obama's 8 years in office. I got out and I voiced my opinion without disrespecting others and without attacking anybody. Now, how would you guys like it, you libs, if I went out and said, hey, did you vote for Hillary? And then punch somebody in the face? How would you like it? Because she put half of us Trumpers into a basket of what she called deplorables. That's an awfully large margin, wouldn't you say? Half? I don't know the exact number, but I know that there are a lot of Trump supporters because he won. And to say half of those supporters are bigoted, racist, misogynistic people, well, that's just hyperbole, okay? And you can't say half, especially when you don't have the true numbers and you're just making stuff up off the top of your head. to get elected. Now, yes, you're going to argue that Trump did the same thing. He said things, made things up. They all do it. He played realpolitik to a T without even being a politician. Okay? But Trump is a guy that I've been waiting for. So we'll see what he does. I'm not going to sit here and grandstand and blow sunshine up anyone's ass and say, he got voted in, he's going to be the greatest. He hasn't done anything yet. So we'll see. And believe me, I will hold him accountable if he does some things I don't agree with. If he does infringe on civil liberties. If he does try to go against the Constitution. However, he hasn't done anything yet. He just got inaugurated Friday. Today's Monday. He signed a few executive orders. You guys are talking about the Affordable Health Care Act. There's a lot of people saying that that's just not right. We should care about each other's health and welfare. And that's well and good. However, Obama didn't make an Affordable Health Care Act that was actually affordable. Sorry. The only people that were able to afford his Affordable Health Care Act were people that already had money. The people that you're rallying against. If the Affordable Health Care Act is so good, why are they exempt? I don't understand. They shouldn't be exempt from anything or any policy that they make because they work for us, and in the end, they are still people. And if it's for the people, then don't you think that the Congress people in Senate, don't you think that they should actually take part in this? No? You don't think so? You think they're above you? Because they certainly do. They're damn sure they're above you. Okay? There's more than one millionaire in the House and more than one millionaire in the Senate. How the heck do they make that much money by sitting down and doing nothing all freaking day? That's the same thing that the left and all you liberals and even some centrists and some conservatives, me included actually, they will bitch about higher-ups in corporations and presidents and CEOs sitting down, making millions of dollars and doing nothing. But you have a house full of representatives and a House of Congress, senators that are doing the same thing. Sitting down, doing nothing, playing God on your lives, and they're millionaires. You see what's going on here? Do I have to spell it out for you? Read between the lines. The divide was devised by big government because, and I said it 2 years ago before Trump was even in office, look back at the Wake the F Up video, okay? This was devised to pit us against one another so we don't pay attention to what they're doing. They're making money off of you, acting like a fool, and you're letting them. They've got you actually believing that whites are going around like tying black people up to trucks and driving them down the street and hanging them from trees and burning their houses down and telling them to get back to Africa. And that's not happening. I hate to say this, but you realize that most of the looters, destroyers, and people setting houses on fire are black, correct? And these blacks are destroying their own neighborhoods, and then they want to blame white people for destroying their neighborhoods. It's kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Moronic. Honestly, problem is not white people picking on black folks anymore. That is not really the issue. Is there still racism in America? Yes, of course there is. But you're not going to tell me that there isn't a single race of people that isn't racist against someone else. My father, 100% Puerto Rican, didn't like Dominicans, didn't like Mexicans. They're Latinos. He used to call Dominicans donkey riders. And he called Mexicans lazy. He used to say they didn't speak Spanish, they sing. So don't tell me that somewhere inside your mind, you're not racist against somebody. I won't even say racist because that's not the right word. Because racist is hating somebody because of their race. Most people misuse that when you're actually thinking of the word prejudice, because you actually don't hate these people, you just think they're all the same way. which is prejudicial. Okay? And guess what? The prejudice exists for a reason. And I'm not saying that it's right. I'm not saying that I condone it. But what I am saying is, for somebody, and I don't care who your race is, for somebody to go out and say, we are not like this, and then when things don't go their way, they act exactly like they said they don't act like, well, you're just proving the prejudice right. So you're not doing anything except taking 2 steps backwards, okay? You're blocking people in the streets because you think that that's going to get a message across. You know what you're doing? You're taking somebody that had nothing to do with whatever you're protesting about, making them hate you. I'm sorry. People say things like, sorry to inconvenience your day. It's not inconveniencing my day. It's about leaving me the F out of this. A good reason why is because the more people you drag into it, the more people you're going to sway against it. And I'm sorry, but not everybody is trying to rally against the police. Some people respect their authority. Some people are, not bothered by them. Some people say it's white privilege. Well, I'd like some of that white privilege because I haven't gotten anything out of it. I haven't gotten anything about being half white. As a matter of fact, if anything, it's been an hindrance because every time I go down to say welfare, if I've lost my job, they take me in, see my last name's Rivera, and then they get a good look at me because I do look white. Then all of a sudden my case is denied. You know why? Because I'm honest and I don't lie. I know a lot of people that do. They will just go down there and say that their friend's kid is living with them so they can get more benefits. They do it during tax season. I saw somebody complain about it on Facebook. They're only doing it for low-income people. Well, gee, that would make sense because if you filed taxes last year and didn't claim any children, and then this year you're suddenly claiming 2 children with Social Security numbers, and those children do not belong to you, you deserve to be investigated because, I hate to tell you this, it's fraud. Jeez, I mean, how stupid can you be? Of course, low-income people. High-income people don't need to do that. In fact, high-income people end up having to usually pay taxes at the end of the year. Just saying. My brother busted his ass for a garbage company here in Massachusetts until he broke himself, okay? And every single year, he made so much money that he was in a higher tax bracket and ended up having to pay. Even though he was claiming his 2 children in his paycheck, he still had to pay, or broke even, one of the two. Either case, it doesn't help somebody who is not, quote-unquote, low income, okay? So get that shit right out of your head. It's not classism. It's not racism, okay? You guys are putting it all on yourselves. Low income. Well, yeah, I'm sorry, you have a low income. There are some of you that need it. Hell, I've gotten crap because I'm a conservative, yet I am applying for assistance for the time being. And let me explain why, right-wingers who are against it completely are paid into the system for this reason, for when I get sick and I can't work. You may not be able to tell, but I have constant eye bleeds from diabetes, and every couple of months I almost go completely blind, and then it takes me 2 or 3 weeks for me to be able to see. So I applied for assistance until I can get everything under control and I can get back to work. So I'm using the system for what it's designed for. Do I think that they need to abolish it? No. But I think stricter regulation would be beneficial. President Obama made a mockery of the terms welfare queens and lifetime welfare recipients. The issue is that there are such things, welfare queens. I remember working at a certain video game store here in Chicopee and hearing Hispanic customers, and these are my people now, Hispanic customers talking about my benefits are going to be ending once my son turns 18. So my husband and I, we're going to have another baby so that we can not lose out on those benefits. So you mean to tell me you're procreating for the benefits, where having your benefits or whatever, so you don't have to work. And then you want the freedom to abort and murder these children if you're not going to benefit from having them. And it's sickening, okay? I believe that if you are raped, you should be able to get rid of that child if it's a product of rape or molestation. My wife chooses to see the silver lining in it. I think you should see the silver lining in it, but I can understand why you would want to get rid of something like that if it's a constant reminder and stuff like that. I understand, okay? But be that as it may, take a listen to what President Trump had to say during the inauguration. Here's one little piece of it. Just actively listen to what he has to say in his inauguration. It's about the racial divide and putting America first. You take a listen, and you're going to hear something that you wouldn't expect. And I love it when people try to excuse it as, it was his speechwriters. Well, President Obama had plenty of those. In fact, President Obama couldn't speak without Telly. Telly had its own MySpace page. When the teleprompter was off, Obama didn't know what to say anymore because he was robotic. Okay? That's what I like about Trump. There's a lot of times he didn't follow a script and he got himself in trouble for it. So, have an open mind, that you claim to have because you're so superior. You're above us because we don't think that way. We don't have an antiquated way of thinking. You're right, you don't. Because we used our constitutional right to assemble and make a tea party and have rallies and, exercise our freedom of speech and assembly. You guys are breaking the law and acting like Neanderthals. So yeah, you're right. Always antiquated. But yours is ancient.
New national pride will stir our souls, lift our sights, and heal our divisions. It's time to remember that old wisdom our soldiers will never forget, that whether we are black or brown or white, we all bleed the same red blood of patriots. This is your day, this is your celebration, and this, the United States of America, is your country. What truly matters is not which party controls our government, but whether our government is controlled by the people. January 20th, 2017 will be remembered as the day the people became the rulers of this nation again. To all Americans in every city, near and far, small and large, from mountain to mountain, from ocean to ocean, hear these words: you will never be ignored again. At the center of this movement is a crucial conviction that a nation exists to serve its citizens. Americans want great schools for their children, safe neighborhoods for their families, and good jobs for themselves. These are just and reasonable demands of righteous people and a righteous public.